Hi, I'm not sure if there's anyone out there, but I'm going to go ahead and start this like a normal session and then we'll see how it goes. And by the way, everything is really delayed, so if you send me a message, I'll be able to see it in a little bit. Alright, so last week I made a YouTube video about how to make the TPT video previews, but a lot of people were asking for like kind of a walkthrough or like a guide on how to do it. So I thought maybe just a webinar would be the easiest way, and you guys can work through it with me if you have Canva, or you can just watch me make one and then we can kind of figure it out together. So I also don't know how long this will go for. It could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour, so. But my goal is to just keep it under an hour. All right. So a little bit about me, just real quick. I realize I haven't really had a chance to tell you guys a lot about me because most of my videos are straight to the point. But my name is Blanca, and I am a teacher. I am currently a Read by Grade 3 strategist at our district, Clark County School District. But next year I'm going back to the classroom, and I'm going to be in 2nd grade, which I'm really excited about because I love teaching and I do miss it. And this year was just crazy, so I'm excited to just get back in the classroom and start at a new school, actually. I also am a TPTer, so I do obviously sell on TPT, and I make YouTube videos for you guys. I'm going into my 7th year of teaching, and like I mentioned, I'm going to be teaching 2nd grade. I've taught 1st grade and 2nd grade only, and definitely 2nd grade is where I like to be. I was born in Mexico, but I've lived in Las Vegas since I was like 7 years old, so pretty much Las Vegas is home. And I've been married for 11 years. And just as a really fun fact, a really quick fun fact, the picture on my logo is my actual dog. His name is Reno. And this is when he was younger. He is about 10 years old now. Oh, I see you, Tommy. Hi, Tommy. I'm glad you can make it. So this is the plan for the webinar. We're going to go over what you need to make the video previews. We're going to talk about the elements, like what should be included in there. This is mostly the text that should be included in it. And then we're going to actually go through the workshop and work through one of these video previews together. And then I'm going to show you how you can repurpose your video preview. There's a lot of different ways where you can just make the one video preview and then kind of blast it out everywhere so that you can market your products. So that's kind of the plan. For materials, you're going to need a Canva account, obviously. If you don't have one, you can register on Canva for free. And if you have a teacher email, an education email, like from your district or something like that, you can get it for free. You can get the pro account is what they call it, for free. And you're going to need 5 product images uploaded to Canva already, which we'll walk through that together in a second. And the reason why I put that this is the easy way, it's because you are basically putting just images on this preview, but there is still something about putting your images in a video preview because people still like to kind of, I think it grabs their attention more when they see the video versus just looking at the images. Even though it's the same images, when it's in a video format, I think it kind of just makes people a little more excited, and it just makes them want to buy the product a little bit more than just seeing an image of it. The harder way, or the next level up way, is to add in action videos, which I'll talk about later. This is the easy way, and that would be the next level up. Just checking in on my chats, making sure I didn't miss anything. And if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat, and then I will respond back as soon as they pop up for me, because there is a little bit of a delay, what I've noticed. So as soon as it pops up for me, I will respond back to you. In the meantime, if you haven't already commented on there where you're from, or just say hello, I'd love to see who's on here, because I can't really tell. Okay, so the second part of the plan is the elements, and this is basically what's going to be in your preview as the text. These are the text parts of it. And I talked about this in my last video, but this is not my infographic. It is from Chloe Taskoff. But I just like it so much because I think that it really makes us look at a video preview in a different way. Most of the time, at least for me, I was putting in video previews where it's just like, here's my product, and my product, and my product, and buy my product right away. But I don't think that you're really making a connection with the buyer that way. So when you think of it using these 5 steps, the buyer becomes more connected to your product, and they actually realize how you're going to help them. So for example, the first thing that you're going to put in your video preview is what their problem is. So you're going to describe it to them. They already know what their problem is, but by you telling them what it is, it makes them feel like you know them, like you understand what their problem is and how you're going to help them solve that. So when you're creating your preview, you really need to think about what is the main problem. Obviously, teachers have a lot of problems, lack of time, lack of creativity, or whatever it is, but think of the major problem that they are having, and that's what you're going to put as your very first slide. And just so you guys know, there is a freebie at the end of the webinar that I'm going to give you, and it comes with this like planner where you can write down what you want to say in each of your slides. And what I like to do is I'm very digital, so I like to put this on my iPad, and then using GoodNotes, which is an app that lets you write on your images, I fill it out. And then that way I can just quickly erase it, and I'm ready for the next video preview that I'm going to create. So I am going to provide that for you guys at the end of the video. I'll tell you how to get that. And it also comes with the quick steps that were basically what we're going through right now, so that you have that handy in case you need it. Let's see. Sorry about that. Pushing random buttons here. Okay, so the second slide, or the second part of your text that you're going to include, is your solution to their problem. But this is not going to be where you mention that your product is their solution. You're going to mention the actual solution to their problem. So if they don't have enough time, you're going to say that now you're able, with these plans, you're able to save a lot of time, or you don't have to spend hours after school, something like that. But you're not going to say like, here's my product, buy it now. This is just another way for you to make that connection with the buyer and just tell them that you understand what their problem is and you understand what could solve their problem. So this is the solution part of it. The third text that your video preview is going to include is your resource. This is where you can actually start telling them how good your resource is and all of the benefits of having it. So this is where you tell them, my product will save you time, and it has all the plans ready for you. It has the worksheets. It has the questions and answers. It has a teacher's answer sheet, things like that. Something that will really help them, where the teacher will say, oh, okay, she's already put in all the work for me, or he's already put in all the work for me, so this is worth my money. And just when you're getting them ready to buy and they're getting excited about your product, the fourth thing you want to include are reviews. So, social proof is really powerful. If you show them what other teachers have said, they're going to be like, okay, well, if it worked for that teacher, it's probably going to work for me. So if you have reviews on a product, this is where you will include them in there. If you don't have reviews on your product, then you're going to just use that slide to tell them another feature of your product, or you can just remove that slide altogether. But I usually use it to tell them another feature of my product. which in my case right now, I am working on video previews for these board games, digital board games that we're playing for math. So since they're brand new, I won't have any reviews, so I'll be using that as another place to give them a feature of my product. And then the very last slide will have their call to action. So like, what do you want them to do? And this is where you can be a little more blunt and say, I want you guys to purchase it, buy now, or save it for later, or something like that. So these 5 steps here is what you will need to include in your video preview. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start the actual workshop. This is where we're going to work through creating one of these together. And these are the basic steps. So we're going to go through all of these steps together, but these are the very basic steps. So first you're going to choose a template, or you can start from fresh, but I like to choose a template because Canva has really good ones to work through. And if they're already created for me, I can just edit them to match my brand. So first you choose a template, then you add in your images, you choose a song or music that you want to go along with it, you add in your animations, and then you save it as an MP4. After you save it as an MP4, you're able to upload it to TPT. And just so, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the only way that you can upload to TPT is if you do have a premium seller account. So the free seller accounts, they don't let you upload the video previews unless they've changed that, but I don't think that they do. So let's go ahead and open up Canva here. And we're going to go ahead and work through one of these together. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create a Design at the top, and I'm going to click on Presentation. You can, oops. It should be the 1920 by 1080. So if you type in something else like just presentation and it comes up as the 4:3, we don't want that one. We want the 1920 by 1080 one right here at the top. All right. And then on the left, you're going to notice some templates. If it doesn't automatically come up for you, if it's closed like that, you can just click on the left up here to click on templates, and then it should come up for you. There's all sorts of different categories. You can even search for some up here. So let me just find one that I kind of like. Maybe I type in education. Let's see what comes up. Let's see. Maybe this one. Let's see what's in there. If you click on it, it's got different templates. So it's got too much text. I'm going to go with slideshow. Oh, and if you hear a lot of noise, the trash can is the trash. People are coming by, so my dog might start barking. Sorry. Okay, let's see what this one is. Could probably make that one work. Let's see, this is kind of fun. It has a lot of elements in here, so we might be able to make this one work. I'm going to pick the ones that have picture slots on there, and what you do is you click on the number 1 and then choose the template that you want to use. So for my first slide, I know it's going to be a title screen, so I'll pick one that has text like that. Maybe even this one. There we go. And then I'll add in some that have pictures, and I will have to probably remove some of these elements, but we'll work through that in a second. And I'm just going through and clicking on the plus sign to add another slide before adding in a new one. And you want about 6 or 7. I believe that's what we're going to end up having. So Some of these might be duplicated, and that's okay. There we go. Perfect. So now we can go ahead and start trying to match our brand. I know that this dark blue is not really my brand, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the background and change it. My main brand color is this 93CDDD. So I click on that, and then I can actually just click down here at the bottom where it says change all, and all of the dark blues will be turned into this lighter blue. So, and that'll happen for all the slides in there. So if you notice, this one turned, and this one must have been the dark blue before, so it already changed. I think I can leave these. Maybe this green one I'll probably change because I don't really have anything that's green in my store, at least not that color green. So normally I have like this bright green. I do have yellow, so I can leave the yellow in there. Alright, and if we're going back to our elements here, the very first thing we want to do is describe what the problem is that our product is going to solve. So in my case, it's that I have a game that kids love playing, and normally what that's doing for the teacher is normally the teachers have trouble getting the attention of the kids while you're playing. So like they get bored or they're tired of playing the same old games, and this game is different, so they like it. Plus it's like a board game, and kids love board games. So this is where I will describe. I'll say something like, do you feel overwhelmed when trying to engage your class in fun ways? Oops. And then I'm going to make this smaller, so maybe I'll make this 60. And if you don't like the text, you can just change it. But I'm going to select all of these and move them over a little bit. And I'll probably remove this empathy is key just because, well, maybe I'll put fun is key. Alright. Oh, gotta fix that. There we go. You can also click on the text and then change the effects. So maybe you want it to, you can click on the lift and choose how far or how intense you want that to be. Here's a shadow. If you want the shadow, you can change the color of the shadow like this. By picking one of these colors down here. You can make the offset really strong, not so strong. I kind of like the lift though because it's not too overpowering. And I'll probably change the font because it's not the font that I use. I use this League Spartan one. Okay. There we go. And let me know if I'm going too fast or if any of this is confusing for you. If you want to animate the whole slide instead of one at a time, you can just click off of it over here somewhere and then click on Animate and choose between one of their templates. And it kind of does all the work for you. So like maybe I'll click on, I really like the Stomp or the Pop, maybe even the Scrapbook. Yeah, I think I like the Scrapbook on this one. So I'll click on the Scrapbook for that one, and there's our first slide. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to add in a picture. Well, actually, I haven't even uploaded any of our pictures on here. So I'm going to click on Uploads and Upload Media. And they're already saved to my device. I'm going to click on my file folder where I save them. And these are the images that I want to bring in. So I'll go ahead and select them all and click on Open. And Canva will automatically start bringing them in. So the second slide is where we want to tell them how we're going to solve their problem. And in my case, it's incorporating learning games in it, which, you know, there is a difference between a regular learning game and a meaningful learning game. So for this case, I'm going to put meaningful because I think it makes it a little bit stronger, and the games are helping them practice their math facts. So I'm going to put incorporating meaningful learning games is your answer. And you have to kind of adjust it to make sure it's all going to fit. I'm going to change the font again. That's not my font. There we go. And I think I want to put centered, make it larger. There. You kind of just have to adjust the formatting the way you like it. So let's try the green. I'm not sure if the green will show up. No. Maybe if I try the darker green and an effect, like a shadow. No, I'm not liking that. Also, this background color is way too bright. It's not my yellow, so I'm going to change that yellow to this yellow right here. There we go. And I don't think I need a speech bubble, so I'm going to erase that speech bubble. So if you notice this one right here, when I delete this image, it's got this little background with the cloud and the grass. That's a frame, which what that means is if I drag one of these in there, my picture is going to be fit into that frame. But that doesn't really work for me because these images are rectangular and this frame is squared. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remove it. You can add in a rectangular frame and then just be able to use the same template for future videos, and all you have to do is replace the picture. So let's see if we can find one in there. Maybe like this one. And you can move the position backwards by clicking over here on position and click backwards. Probably have to move these little guys over. And then I will upload one of these. Let's see. So it's still kind of being cut off. If you notice, like my logo's cut off, and you can drag it a little bit if you wanted to, you know, if it'll fit just by a little bit. But for me, I don't really like that frame because I can't get it to fit in there. So instead, I'm just going to bring in the picture. Like that. Make it larger. Move the position backwards. And I know that you can do the control and the bracket to bring it back, but I want to not use my keyboard shortcut so that you guys can see it. This is looking a little busy for me. So what I like to do is I like to put a element behind my text so that the text will stand out. And so you click on shapes and find the shape that you want. I'm just going to click on this one, I think. Just make it around the same size as your text. Change the colors of it. So I'm going to make this one darker, something like that. And then move it backwards. Now the green is looking, it's kind of fading out, so I'm going to change that to the white. And it should pop out a little bit more. There we go. And if you want it to be really perfect, you can lock the background and then select these two images and position them so that they're centered. Like that. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because I don't want it to take over the image. You can also group these if you like the way they are. You can just group it. That way when you move it, it moves together. And I think I'll change these colors. There we go. If you wanted to, you could also put a frame behind your pictures. So that would look something like this. Let's see. Or you can choose colors that kind of match the picture. So let's try and get one here. And this is all preference, so of course you're going to kind of play around with it until you find one that you like. There. There we go. And then we have to animate it. So I'm going to click off and see, the animate button wasn't coming on because the background was locked. So I had to unlock it. And now this animate button comes up. So now I can animate this screen. And maybe I'll do the rise. I kind of like the rise. Okay. Oops. Do you use the same colors for every resource preview you make? No, I don't. I try to stay within my brand, but I also try and match the colors of the product that I'm making. So in this one, I might add in some more pink. But if you notice, I kind of try and keep with my brand colors a little bit. And if I go into my TPT, you'll notice that a lot of my colors are changed based on the product itself. So let me try and get to my store. I think that's a better view. You see, this one has the blues because there's a blue background in that game. This one has a little more red, so I kind of just try and change it to kind of match the product itself. What I do think that it's really important is to keep the same format, because then everyone knows that this is your product. Like, there's not a lot of people that have the same format on mine, so if someone finds my 6th edition fact, they might look and see the 7 ones and say, oh, it's the same game. I've already bought the 6 ones, so I already know that I want the 7 ones. So keep the format consistent, but maybe not the colors. You're welcome. Okay. So the next one, we're going to go ahead and add in another picture. Oh, and in this one, I wanted to show you guys how to use Canva's built-in, let me show you. I'll bring in one of these pictures first, and let's just do like maybe one of these. And what you can do is you can add in a filter, maybe it's under effect I think, and click on their smart mockups. I really like their smart mockups because it's done for you. So like, let's pretend that I want it into this laptop right here. If I click on it, they put in your image into that mockup. So I like to use ones that look a little more kid friendly. So maybe like, I think there was one with little hands or smaller hands, something like that. Or even just more generic. I think for this one, maybe I'll put it in here. You have to kind of find the right one that will not crop out your image so much. So that's my thing with like all these smart mockups, is they crop out your image so much, and so And because my images are squares, because they're the ones that I use for my TPT templates, or TPT previews, it'll cut it off a lot of the time. So anyway, let's bring in the same frame that I had already created over here. I'm going to lock the background so I don't accidentally select it. And I'll bring in this frame just so I don't have to create it again. And all I did was Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste. And I'm going to send it back. And I will bring in one of these images. And these guys, we have to bring them up. So bring forward. Okay. In this slide, I'm going to tell them one of the features. And one of the features about this game is that kids love playing it. So I'll put something like kids love playing math track games because it reminds them of board games. We want that to be pretty big, so I'm just going to select it all and make it bigger. I'll bring this one down so it's visible a little bit more. And I'll probably delete this one. I don't think I need it if it's there. Oops. Maybe something like that. And I'll change the color of this. Let's see. Try the green. With the yellow, I like to change it to my yellow because they're all very similar, but my yellow will be consistent across all my products. Versus if I keep choosing different yellows, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's an OCD thing. Okay. Alright, so everything in this one looks pretty good. I don't know if I want to change this. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, it does make it bolder, so let's try centering it all also. And maybe I'll make this one a different color just so it stands out. There we go. Okay, now we can click on animate at the top and just find one that we like. Drift. Baseline's pretty good. I kind of tend to like the ones that are faster. I know you can kind of change the slide timing up here, which we will need to do actually once we pick a song. But let's just take a look and see what it looks like so far. So I'm going to go up here. And, let's see. You know what, we're going to have to change the slides because these are way too long. I don't want you guys to spend 5 seconds on each one. So I'm going to go through and click on each slide and change it to 3 seconds probably. 3. Oh, it's locked, that's why. So if you don't get the little timer, it's probably because your background is locked. So make sure you change that timer or unlock the background. Oh, there we go. I don't know what that glitching was about, but I'll have to figure that out. Okay, Next slide, obviously I don't use any black slides on mine, so I'm definitely changing that one. And this one, I think maybe I'll make the green or the blue. I'm going to delete this image and add in my own. And move these other things, these other elements out of the way a little bit like this. Send this one back. I'm going to grab the frame from this one just because I don't want to have to be recreating it every time. And send it back. Resize it. Like that. And if you're working along with me, you can be picking these, as you go. So a lot of this is preference, so you can just check them as you go. Here, I'll delete this big text, and I'll just, deleted the background on accident, and I'll change my text in this one, I think. So let's see. I'll put 30 review questions included. This is normally where you'd put in a review, someone's review, but I don't have any reviews on this one yet because it's a brand new product. So I will just put in another feature that I think teachers will like. And this one, let's see, it's all one big thing, so I don't think I need it. I'll probably remove that. Make it something like that instead. I animate the whole page. No. There you go. Okay. We're getting there. We have 2 more slides. The next slide I'm going to change again, and it looks like I'm going blue, yellow, so I'll probably just use blue on this one. And I can see that on my slides down here at the bottom. I'm going to erase that image because it doesn't fit my frames, and I want to add in one more important feature of my product, which is that they can earn ribbons. And I will bring in, copy and paste that same frame from before. Now I'm using my shortcut, so I'm doing Control and the bracket to send it back. If you have the time to learn the shortcuts for Canva, it really does make it a lot faster when you're working in it. So I will bring this forward by doing Control and then the right bracket. And it looks like I had the speech bubble on the right on the last one, so I'm going to move this one to the left. And move this one to the right. And then I'll add something like this. Well, I'll put students earn ribbons to motivate them to keep playing. And I will center it. And I'm going to bold the words that I want to catch their attention. So, students earn ribbons to motivate. That's kind of a big one. And I'm going to change the font. Oh, maybe not. Make it bigger. There we go. If you're just joining me, hi. I see you there. I want to put anything in here. Let me make sure that the picture's not being blocked. And then you can go to Elements and change out the little image that's in the middle. So it looks like this one might be grouped together. Maybe not. Let's see. No. But you can just find an element that you like. So maybe I'll write scribble and see what comes up. Like I kind of like this one, might just pop it out. I'll delete this off of there. There. And then we animate it. Oh, Tumble's a good one. I like Tumble. And then we have one last slide. And in this last slide, that's our call to action. So we want to make this nice and big. I'm going to erase all of this. We don't need these. I'll change the text on this one. League Spartan. Probably, let's see. Probably a white with an effect to make it pop out like this. And I'll write our call to action. So don't wait. Buy it for your class today. And I'll center all of this. Put it right in the middle. These guys, I don't know if I need these guys. Maybe I'll just remove them and add a frame. I'm just bringing in the frame from before, but I'm going to change the color of it. So instead of pink, maybe I'll make it my blue. Make sure it's centered, and you can see it's centered by those guidelines right there. So when they're solid, both lines are solid, then that means you're right in the middle. I'm going to send that back. And I'll probably make this text just a little bit smaller. And try to center it again. There we go. And now we animate. So I think I like the scrapbook. Okay. I ended up not needing that last one, so I'm going to remove that. Oh, and don't forget to change the time at the top. Oops. There we go. Thought I changed these already. Did it not save? Is it not saving? Okay. So now we just need to add some music. Let's look for happy. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. Sometimes things don't want to work. Okay. So I think that one's okay. Let's see. Just for the sake of this tutorial, I'll pick that one. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on download with this arrow right here and change it to an MP4. Make sure all pages are selected and then click on done. I'm going to stop that music. So right here at the bottom right, you can see the little indicator, so it's going to be a minute for that to download. In the meantime, we can go back to the presentation. So here are some ways that you can repurpose the video that you just created. And the way that I made this infographic is to start by the size that can then move into the next size easiest. So for example, an Instagram story is vertical, which is the same size as a Pinterest story, which is the same size as a Facebook story. And then that Facebook story can easily be shrunken down into an Instagram story, which the Instagram post, which the Instagram post is the same size as an Instagram carousel. And the carousel is where you have like up to 10 slides to slide through on Instagram. And then that can be turned into a Facebook post, which can be turned into a Pinterest image, which if you have a blog, it can be added into your blog. And I do just want to show you how I kind of do that with my YouTube videos. So if you go over to my Canva, and I'll go to my folders and my YouTube video promotion folder. So you can see it, you can kind of see how, you know, they're labeled weird, but like number 1, I start with the YouTube thumbnail, of course. The thumbnail goes to number 2, which is a blog thumbnail, just slightly different, but pretty much the same size. And then that number 2, that blog thumbnail, turns into a blog cover image, because the little cover images, if you have a blog, you have to have a little thumbnail for it, but it's smaller. So I turn that into the, you know, cover. The cover, since it's smaller, now can be turned into an Instagram post, which just shrinks down a little bit. And just so you know, you can quickly do that by going to the top and clicking resize and choosing what you want. So if I wanted to make this into an Instagram post, I click on Instagram post and then click on resize. Of course, it's not going to cover over exactly. It's not going to copy over exactly, but most of it will be there. So let me show you real quick. If I make it into an Instagram post, all of your features are there, and now all you have to do is pretty much resize them and move them around a little bit. And now you quickly have a Instagram post of the same thing, and you'd have to do that with all the slides. But if you follow this kind of format or this timeline, it'll be less and less adjusting, because the size is just changing slightly for each one, from the bigger Instagram story down to the blog posts and Instagram posts. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And then that's pretty much it, but I do want to kind of let you guys know that we are going to have another webinar, so looking ahead. But this time it's going to be making YouTube video, or sorry, not YouTube videos, I have YouTube in my mind. Video previews with in-action videos of your product. So instead of having images in there, you're going to learn how to make it with videos. So it's basically a screen recording with a voiceover with some transitions involved. So just another little level from going from just the static images to video. And if anybody has any questions, I've kind of been keeping an eye on the chat. Looks like no one's really had any questions, but if you do, go ahead and ask them now. And while you guys are doing that, I do want to also let you know that there is a freebie, or that freebie that we talked about earlier, on my website. So if you go to teachertechfiles.com and click on the super secret Freebie Vault, it's going to ask you for a password. So if you don't have the password, you can click here to sign in. This is where you type in the password. If you don't have it, you can click and sign up for the password. It's been acting kind of wonky though, so if you didn't get the password, just let me know. But once you're signed in there, let me see, you will be redirected to the members only area. And if you click on this TPT Video Previews, it will download the freebie for today. So it's got the steps that you're going to need to follow and the repurposing infographic down here at the bottom. The basic steps, just choose a template, add your images, add your music, add your animation, save as an MP4. Once you save it as an MP4, you can just upload it to TPT as a video preview. And then this one right here, which is where I plan out what I'm going to type in each one of my slides. So again, I like to put it on my iPad, and then I just use my Apple Pencil to write in there. That way I can just erase it quickly and it'll be ready for the next video preview. But if you want that freebie, that'll be on my website, so you can just sign up there. And oh, there is a question that says, how did you do that resize thing? I'll show you. If I am in, let me close this one out. So this is the video preview that we were just working on right now. And to do a resize, you're going to go up to the top left up here where it says resize and type in the type of resizing that you want. So maybe I want this for Facebook. I can click on Facebook, and there's a whole bunch of different things that you might be able to create. So like a Facebook video, a Facebook story. I would normally take this one and turn it into, well, because it's rectangular, let's try turning it into an Instagram story. That way I can, advertise that you have a new product. So let's change this to Instagram story. Click on that, and then you click on copy and resize. You don't want to just resize it because it's going to resize the one you're working on right now, which is your video preview. You want to click on copy and resize. It'll create a copy of all your slides and resize it to what Instagram is looking for a story. So it brings everything over, but you will need to just adjust it. So let's say I want to move these up. And what I usually end up doing is making the text bigger and adding in more elements. So I kind of like the scribbles. So maybe I will add in a scribble up here at the top, change the color. Maybe another scribble down here at the bottom. Let's see. And change the color. And so you can just kind of go through that. If you resize it, and the animation should still be there. So yeah, see, the animation is still rise. So if you resize it, you can still play the video. And here, this is what your Instagram story would look like. Of course, I haven't resized these, but so it's really quickly to go from one to the next. Did that kind of make sense? Okay. I'm going to stay on for a little bit because I know that the feed is delayed. So anything that you type in the chat, I don't see right away. So I'll stay on and see if I get any more questions. Or if you just want to chat for a little bit, we can chat. I would love to hear what else you have questions on. Like, what else would you like to see a webinar about? I'm totally open to creating more of these webinars if it's something that you liked. But I don't want to create them for something that you have no interest in. So if you have something that you need questions about, even something basic like I don't know how to post my products to TPT or anything like that, just let me know. You can message me on Instagram, or you can send me a message right here on the chat. My Instagram page is, let's see. Here's my Instagram page, Teacher Tech Files. So find me on Teacher Tech Files and send me a message. I respond pretty much right away most of the time. I'll keep this going for another couple minutes, and if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thank you guys for coming so much. Thank you for spending an hour with me, and I hope it was helpful, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone. I'm so glad that this was helpful, Tommy. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you spending an hour with me. I know that's asking a lot when a lot of us are on summer break, but hopefully it was helpful. I actually still have 4 days of summer school that I'm subbing for a teacher, and then I'm all done. Okay.